Hey everyone, this is Matt from endsickness.org, and I'm going to teach you how to beat mast cell activation the smart way today, not keep running in circles and circles chasing your tail. So first, let me say I'm not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice. It's based on my personal experience. This is for informational and educational purposes only. So beating MCAS the smart way, okay, the smart way. So what's not the smart way? Let's first say that. That's taking a ton of supplements and expecting that to fix MCAS right off the bat. Taking synthetic supplements and expecting that to fix MCAS. Eating eggs, dairy, nuts, seeds, gluten, too much meat. These are all the wrong ways to be able to beat MCAS. You want to beat MCAS, you got to keep it simple. You got to realize that less is more when it comes to MCAS. So less ingredients per meal, less meat, less supplements, less thinking, okay? Less activity, things like that. So let me first focus on the smart way when it comes to food. When it comes to food, you can't be eating meat 3 times a day and be able to get over mast cell activation. You can't eat eggs, dairy, nuts, seeds, gluten. You can't be eating these things every day and be able to beat mast cell activation. All of these things trigger your immune system. And if you trigger your immune system, you're aggravating your mast cells. If you aggravate your mast cells, guess what? You're going backwards. So the smart way to beat mast cell activation in terms of diet is to be able to eat potatoes, rice, beans, lentils, fruits, vegetables. Focus on the ones that work for you. Focus on those initially. Build off of those. Once you build off of the plants that you can eat, then you start to diversify into the ones that were maybe issues in the past, and you'll be able to tolerate them. But you're not going to be able to tolerate new plants if you have issues with them, if you're still eating meat 3 times a day. You're saying, hey, Matt, the only thing that works for me is meat. Well, the reality is that's actually incorrect. It may work for you because you've been eating it over and over and over again. Your digestive system has become accustomed to it, but it doesn't mean it's working for your immune system. It doesn't mean it's working for your liver, your gallbladder, your kidneys, all that. Okay, so gently transition towards more plants. Gently reduce the meat slowly as you gently increase the plants. Eventually, you'll realize as you get rid of the meat, you'll be eating more and more and more and more plants. Next thing you know, you'll be eating 15, 20 different plants that you couldn't eat before when you're eating the meat 3 times a day. So this is a common mistake people make all the time when it comes to mast cell activation. The smart way of doing this is going straight plant-based for a period of 3 to 6 months, having some animal products in there, maybe a little bit of eggs, a little bit of dairy, a little bit of meat, whatever, a couple times a week, a few times a week max, making sure those things don't impact your bowel movements, don't impact your symptoms. And that's the smart way, be able to do it with the diet. You want to be able to reduce the animal products, focus on your plants, your fruits, your vegetables, your rice, your potatoes, your beans. So the other smart thing you need to do if you want to overcome mast cell activation is you got to get a mycotoxin test, okay? If you're extremely high levels of mycotoxins in your urine, or you have mycotoxin antibodies that are very, very high on the IgG, IgE test, then you have a high probability that mycotoxins are causing your mast cell activation symptoms, and you got to do something about it. You can't just ignore mold and mycotoxins and expect to get over mast cell activation. The last thing that's smart that you have to do if you want to get over mast cell activation is you got to start meditating. You got to start doing some slow, deep breathing through the nose like this. So you breathe very slow through the nose all the way to the top. Keep your eyes closed. Hold it for 2 seconds, then breathe all the way out. As you breathe all the way out, you release all the stress. They've shown just from doing this for 10 minutes that your brain imaging looks completely different, from brain imaging that looks extremely hyperactive to calm within 10 minutes of slow, deep breathing. You have to be able to do this if you want to heal from MCAS the smart way. So the smart way is eating the right foods, getting out of an environment that's moldy, not taking 58 supplements at once, not taking a bunch of synthetic supplements, starting to do deep breathing, okay? Starting to do deep breathing. And this is all very critical. The last thing I want to say is plant-based supplements only. If you want to heal from mast cell activation the smart way, you got to use plant-based supplements only. You can't be using vitamin B complexes that are synthetic, or ascorbic acid, or these things that are generated from synthetic lab-driven stuff. It's not going to work for you, okay? If you want to be able to heal from mast cell activation, you got to restore key nutrients like magnesium, zinc, selenium, trace minerals, things like that. You got to be able to restore these so they restore your enzyme production, your detox pathways, etc. This is how you're going to be able to heal, and you can't restore deficiencies with synthetic nutrients, okay? So reach out to me. I got plenty of experiences. I overcame it myself. I helped my daughter overcome it. This is what I help clients overcome. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. My website is endsickness.org. If you go on there, I got hundreds of articles, hundreds of videos there teaching you how to heal. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.